Do you know what the poor man's rose is? Or how about learning how to make your own natural toxic-free hairspray? Or an easy anti-itch lotion or little massage oil to help you with those times where your skin is just not cooperating? Stay tuned for today's continuing education class where I'll be covering the different uses and benefits of two wonderful essential oils. Welcome, I'm Melissa Bonet, and today we will continue with our series of essential oils A to Z. And in today's class, we'll be covering the different uses and benefits of geranium and guaiacwood. Before we get started, let's cover some safety tips. Whenever you're using essential oils, just be aware that they are very potent and very concentrated, and they may cause some skin sensitivity. So always keep them away from children. And if you're pregnant or nursing, make sure that you always talk to your doctor and never touch or use essential oils in sensitive areas like your eyes, your ears, inside your nose, or in private areas. And of course, we have dilution guidelines for young children. And so you want to dilute the oils according to the age of the child. And this class is for educational and entertainment and informational purposes only. So always consult your doctor for any type of condition that you might be dealing with. Let's get started with geranium. Geranium is known as the poor man's rose because geranium is very similar in properties to rose essential oil, which can be quite expensive when you're getting high quality, pure Damascena rose, which is what doTERRA uses. It can be a little bit cost prohibitive. So for that reason, you want to just be aware that you can still enjoy the benefits of the rose essential oil by using geranium because it'll have some similar properties. And there's over 200 species of the geranium plant, and some are just grown for their flowers while others are grown for their scent. So it's a plant that is popular among the perfume industry. The plants that we're using originate from South Africa, and in Africa, it's known as a rose and also as sweet scented geranium. So it does have a very pleasant and herbaceous scent with some of those rose-like notes. But it is a plant that you'll commonly find in all sorts of beauty products, especially in the perfume industry. Now, for thousands of years, geranium has been used in so many different ways. The ancient Egyptians, for instance, used it for beautifying purposes in their lotions and potions, and that was the main reason that geranium was found in their culture. However, with the Europeans, they used it as a natural bug repellent. They used it in hand bowls. They used it as a perfume as well. But in the Victorian era, it was more of a plant they used to ingest and to create different desserts like jams and jellies and all sorts of yummy delicacies. And when they would put their feast out on the table, they would decorate everything with these beautiful geranium flowers. And then at the end, people could enjoy them and actually eat them. Have you ever tried eating a geranium? I haven't, but it's on my list of things I'd like to do. So something that I always like to feature is the studies that take place on all the different properties found in different plants. So there's been over 140 studies published at pubmed.gov where you can learn about the various benefits of geranium and the impact of this plant on the co-impact sourcing that doTERRA has in place with the artisans, the distillers, these people on the other side of the bottle. They're all impacted by the work that we do, and we collaborate with them to improve their lives and their communities. And so geranium is helping and impacting over 112,934 individuals. Just imagine that. So next time you buy a bottle of geranium, think about the lives that you're helping on the other side of that bottle. Let's learn a little bit about the key features of geranium and more details as to how we can use it. So geranium, as I mentioned, is safe for internal use, not only the flower, but the entire plant. And geranium is extracted from the leaves and the stems and the base of the actual plant. So the whole plant is used, nothing is wasted, and it is safe for aromatic, topical, and internal use. However, you just want to be cautious because it can cause some sensitivity in certain adults, especially in children. They have more fragile skin, so you want to be extra careful with them. So always use a carrier oil when using geranium. So the geranium, as I mentioned, comes from Africa, particularly from Madagascar and from Kenya, and it requires 25 pounds of geranium. Just think about that. That's a small child. 25 pounds of geranium to make one 15 milliliter bottle. And a couple of other substitutions for geranium, if you don't have it, would be working with the oils of lavender, neroli, and pink pepper. And you can find geranium in Align, Clary Calm, HD Clear, TerraShield, and Zendocrine. Some of the different properties of geranium would be that it can have antidepressant properties, it's an antitoxic, a carminative, it's detoxifying, it's a diaphoretic, which means it can help induce sweat. It's a hypertensive, so if you have maybe some problems with lower blood pressure, geranium might be a good one to use. It's regenerative, and it's a vermifuge, which helps with intestinal parasites. So common uses for geranium include support for liver and kidneys. You can apply this directly to those areas or make a roll-on. If you have irregular blood sugar or glucose irregularities, or you need pancreatic support, you can take this internally and apply it to the bottom of your feet. If it's that time of the month and you have some swollen or tender breasts, you can apply it topically and also take a couple of drops in a capsule. The reason I say a capsule is because it doesn't taste that great. It may not bother you, but you can put it in a capsule, put it in water, or put it directly under your tongue. If you have any type of skin issues, you can apply it to those affected areas and also take some internally, because most skin issues, 70% of them are going to be internal. So you want to make sure if you do have some type of skin issue that you take the geranium internally as well as apply it externally. For adrenal fatigue, you can rub some on your adrenals. If you have any type of gallbladder or stones or liver issues or a bile duct obstruction, you can take that internally as well. Hemorrhoids, dilute it and apply it to those affected areas. For PMS, any type of hormonal imbalance, or if you're feeling just really emotional and sensitive, apply 1 drop on pulse points. For oily skin or oily hair, you can apply it topically to those areas of skin. Of course, be careful. You might have to dilute it to make sure that you're not sensitive to it. And you can also apply a portion to your shampoo or conditioner. If you have any type of reproductive issues like endometriosis, long periods, or pelvic pain, you can use it on your reflex points and also take some in a capsule. I'm going to show you the reflex points because sometimes people aren't familiar with these different meridians. So I'll show you those in just a second. To support your body's cellular function, your immune system, or your blood pressure, you can take a couple of drops in a veggie capsules once or twice a day, or for varicose veins, bleeding, and broken capillaries. Massage diluted into affected areas several times a day. So these are the fertility issue pressure points, which is either side of your wrist. You can use either hand, doesn't matter. but the sides of your wrist is where you would rub some geranium to support those female issues. Geranium, of course, is also going to help with emotions. So if you have any type of negative issues like disheartenment, if you feel doubt, if you're in mourning or you feel any type of sorrow, geranium would be a good oil to use because it promotes trust in relationships. It can help you feel loved. It can promote feelings of forgiveness. And if you have a broken heart, right, it softens anger. If you get into a argument with your significant other, apply some geranium and it just helps heal some of those emotional wounds. And you can use it directly from the bottle aromatically, or I prefer using a diffuser. Mix a couple of drops with a carrier oil and then you can apply it over your heart. And you can also, as I mentioned, take it internally. I'm going to pause for a moment here if you are interested in taking a screenshot for these diffuser blends. It's really nice to have the option to use an oil directly in your diffuser without mixing or blending other oils. But if you don't like the scent too much, if it's not your favorite by itself, then you can always combine it with other oils and it'll just create a whole new aroma. So I invite you to explore that option and just start playing with your oils. Make your own blends. I've done that and then I have to write them down so I won't forget what I mixed in my diffuser. But this is a great way to incorporate maybe some oils that are in your collection that you don't use very frequently. Create some blends for your diffuser. Now let's get into a few DIYs. Here is a wonderful treatment for dry hair, or if you have damaged hair and it just feels like it needs a little bit of extra TLC and moisture. You make this great hair treatment. Use 5 drops of geranium and then use 1 or 2 eggs. It depends on your length. If you have longer hair, then you probably need 2 eggs. But if you have a shoulder or shorter length hair, then 1 egg should be enough. Then 2 tablespoons of honey and 2 tablespoons of jojoba oil. Just combine everything together in a bowl and then start massaging it and applying it from the roots all the way down to the tips. Put on a shower cap and wait about 30 minutes. Play on your phone, listen to some music, read a book, watch your favorite TV program, and then wash it like you normally would and dry it out. It's going to be very noticeable. You're going to notice the difference in your hair with this recipe. Now, this is one that I was excited about, and I am so excited to try it because I've been slowly moving away from regular products that have a lot of toxicity. And the hairspray is one that I use several times a week, and having a natural alternative is something that I definitely want to have in my collection of hair care products. So all you need is an 8-ounce glass bottle with a fine mist atomizer, 1 cup of distilled water, 4 teaspoons of sugar. If you want a stronger hold, a firmer hold, then you might have to add maybe another teaspoon or 2 of sugar. So it just depends on how hard you want that hold to be. Then take 2 drops of geranium, 2 of lavender, 2 of peppermint, 2 of rosemary, and 2 of clary sage. And that will be your hair recipe, your hairspray recipe. All you got to do is just in a saucepan, you want to mix the sugar and the water and just make sure that the sugar dissolves really well. Then take it off the heat, allow it to cool down. And once it cools down, you're going to pour it into your bottle and add your essential oils. And that is all there is to it to make your own natural toxic-free hairspray. Now, just keep in mind, you can create any type of hair care blend that you want. You can mix different types of oils. However, just remember that if you use citrus oils and you go out in the sun, it could lighten your hair. And maybe that's a good thing. If that's the look you're going for, that might be something that you can do, but just be aware of that. because the citrus oils have limonene and that interacts with the UV rays. So I'm actually going to try it because I actually want to lighten some of my hair for the summer. Okay, friends, now we're going to move on to our next oil, and that is guaiacwood. And something interesting to note, guaiacwood is sometimes erroneously referred to as palo santo. And guaiacwood can also have a negative connotation to it because people say, oh, well, that's not sustainable. Palo santo is not sustainable. Well, it depends on the species, right? doTERRA is very, very responsible about sourcing their oils that are done in a very sustainable way. They would never do anything that harms the environment. And so the type of tree that is more endangered and not sustainable is the Guaiaco Bercera graveolens. That's not what we're using, okay? We're using the Bolnesia sarmientoi. And that is the difference that you just want to keep in mind if you ever hear or read something about Palo Santo or guaiacwood not being sustainable. And the other difference is that Palo Santo is made from the bark of the tree, and guaiacwood is made from the entire tree. And so that's why we call our oil guaiacwood instead of Palo Santo, because the entire tree is being used. And this is a tall tree. It grows about 65 feet, and it's exclusively found only in the Gran Chaco forest in Paraguay. So you're not going to find this tree anywhere else. And it is one of the toughest, densest, heaviest timbers that exists. Now, the chemistry is about 90% sesquiterpenes, and that means that this oil is going to have properties, as I mentioned some of them already, but focus on the properties of anti-inflammatory, it's calming, it's an analgesic, so it can help with discomfort. It also has antimicrobial properties. It can support with stimulating your digestive system, plus offers endocrine support. And something that's really interesting to know, just a little factoid, is that after this essential oil is distilled, and if it's left at room temperature, it will start to become semi-solid. And that's why doTERRA had to create it with a fractionated coconut oil base so that it can pour out of the bottle, or else you'll just be there forever trying to get some essential oil drops out of it. Now, something else that is important to note is that doTERRA has a nonprofit organization called the Healing Hands Foundation. And what they do is they partner with different nonprofit organizations throughout the world to improve communities where they are harvesting their essential oils. And so in this instance, they are partnering with the Cerrito Agricultural School in Paraguay, where the oil is made. And so this partnership is providing boarding and hands-on learning to the children in the area. And so this is an agricultural community, and they'll be able to just be more self-reliant with the skills that the school provides. So if you wanted to learn more about how guaiacwood is sourced or more about our partners in the area, I have put this link below. You can simply just go to sourcetoyou.com. And then in the search bar, type in guaiacwood, and then it'll take you to the page where you can learn more about it. But the lives that are impacted with doTERRA's co-impact sourcing initiative is 847. This wood is safe for aromatic and topical use only, and it can be applied neat. Why? Because it's already in a base of fractionated coconut oil. And if you don't have guaiacwood, you could always substitute it with frankincense or cedar wood. And this is a very earthy, woodsy, grounding, and smoky. And I just love the way it smells. And when you add it to any blend or any diffuser blend, it just adds that note of smokiness that makes it very, very special. It takes 3/4 pound to make 15 milliliters of essential oil. And because the wood is so hard and so dense, they need to make these tiny, thin little chips of wood or shavings in order to distill it. So this oil is very special. I hope you consider adding it to your collection if you don't already have it. And you just want to be aware that if you are breastfeeding, it is not recommended for you. And again, for children and individuals with sensitive skin, you might want to add additional carrier oil and dilute it even further. Some common uses for guaiacwood include skin irritations. You can apply it directly on those areas to support with stressful feelings, anxious feelings. You can use it aromatically or apply it topically to your wrists, and of course, use it in your diffuser. If you have congestion, apply it topically on your chest or in your diffuser. For rheumatism and gout, apply directly to areas that need support. Arthritis, you can add some to a cup of Epsom salt. So do that first. Put your essential oil in the cup of Epsom salt. Let the salt absorb the oil, and then you pour the cup into the water. And then you can even blend it with some carrier oil and massage it into painful areas. If you have head tension, apply it to the forehead, shoulders, and the back of the neck every 15 minutes until you start to feel better. You'll start to notice a relief as you do that. For facial care, you can mix it directly with your skin cream, maybe a drop in a little bit of skin cream. For meditation and yoga, apply to pulse points, breathe in from cupped hands, and diffuse. For constipation, apply over the belly for its laxative effects. To hydrate your skin, you can apply it with doTERRA's spa lotion, which is unscented, or any other type of carrier oil, and it'll help to keep your skin nourished. Or make your own perfume with some ylang ylang, tangerine, and guaiacwood. That's going to smell wonderful. And additional uses: sore muscles, aphrodisiac, skin conditions, skin care, breathing aid, and lymphatic system cleaning. So who would have known this oil could do so much? And that's just a few of the ways that you can use this essential oil. Of course, you can also use it for helping your emotions. If you have negative thoughts, if you tend to be a person that worries a little bit or have a lot of tension, if you're just unstable emotionally and cranky and irritable, this is the oil you want to add to your collection of oils that help you feel better. I always like having an emergency collection, and because I also sometimes struggle with unstable emotions or sad feelings or anxious feelings, I like to have a collection of my top 4 or 5 oils, and I'll have extras in my bedroom and maybe some in small vials for my purse or my backpack. And this is one of the oils that I find very grounding when I feel like my emotions are a little bit all over the place or I'm feeling a little antsy. So it brings tranquility, it has those calming properties, it helps create a peaceful atmosphere so that you feel more comfortable, more secure, and just helps you let go of the stress of the day. So use it in your diffuser, right? You can inhale it from your cupped hands or from the bottle, and then apply it to the bottoms of your feet, the top of your head right here. This is a great point to get it into the brain, right? So right at the crown of the head, you can rub some in here and in your pulse points. Here are the diffuser blends, and I'll pause a moment so that you can take a screenshot and let me know what you think about these. I blend guaiacwood with everything, and it just really gives it a totally different aroma. And you don't need a lot. Usually 2 or 3 drops is more than enough. Okay, let's wrap up with a couple of guaiacwood DIYs. This is the oil for irritated skin that is just itching and you can't stop scratching. Just mix 3 drops of guaiac wood with 5 drops of peppermint in about 2 ounces of fractionated coconut oil or any other oil that you prefer to use. You could use almond oil or jojoba oil and just blend them together. And that is going to be a very soothing oil for that irritated skin. And here is a roll on for tension or discomfort wherever you have sore or achy muscles. This is a good blend for that. Just blend the 10 drops of frankincense with 3 drops of guaiac wood and then 2 drops of cypress. And put it in a 10 milliliter roll on and fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. And there you go, a quick little roll on for the discomfort. Okay, my friends, this is the class for today. I just want to wrap it up by reminding you that we have Refer a Friend. You, as a doTERRA wholesale member, have a personal link in your account profile that you can share with friends and family. And that's going to entitle them 25% off everything they buy for a whole year using your link. And you get 20% of the points of their first order in doTERRA dollars. You can use that for anything, for your own membership, for taxes, for shipping. It's like cash. So don't delay in sharing your link with other friends and family so that you can start to earn some cash for your personal doTERRA products. I also want you to consider getting an encyclopedia. It's very important to have this as a resource at your fingertips because it's going to help you discover how to use your essential oils in a variety of ways. They have protocols, they have a deep dive on even the science and the chemistry of the oils, and so many different DIY recipes. So there are 2 books that I normally use when I put together these presentations or I'm going to teach a class. These are my 2 favorite encyclopedias. So the first one is Modern Essentials Handbook. You can find that at aromatools.com. And the second one is Advanced Oil Magic, which I think is my favorite of the 2. And that is found at oilmagicbook.com. So the covers may not be exactly like these that are pictured because they might have more up-to-date books, but check them out and consider grabbing a book today. I always try to encourage everyone to reach out to their wellness advocate or the person that enrolled them for any questions, or if you need to adjust your protocol. Sometimes months go by or a year goes by, and maybe we're still using the same thing or the same oils. Connect with your wellness advocate so you can get an updated protocol. These are complimentary. There's no cost to you. And set something up so that you can learn how to use maybe some oils in your collection that you're not familiar with. And she could send you, or he can send you, some recipes and different tools and education to help you with that. Thank you once again for joining me. I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you found value in this class. If you found it entertaining, educational, and informative, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. That really supports my channel. And if you are not subscribed, become part of our community. Hit that subscribe button now and also turn on those notifications so that you're aware of any new content that is coming your way. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you at our next class.